The Major League Baseball lockout rolls on without much noise on the home front. Is it time for us to start getting a little perturbed? I think maybe so. Locked on Cubs back with another Tuesday edition coming up now.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs. Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. Wonderful to have you along with us. I'm Andrew Bellison. Welcome back in another week of Locked On Cubs. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, first and foremost. Hope you enjoyed some NFL football if you're into that, some time with the family, some downtime, some time away from work, whatever it may be. Thank you for taking the time to make Locked On Cubs your first listen each and every morning, especially here on this Tuesday morning. We're free and available wherever you download your favorite podcast. Check us out on YouTube as well. I'll say it again. I say it every day. Engage with us socially. I love to talk baseball and Cubs with you guys at Chicago Cubs PA on Twitter, at Locked On Cubs. Great stuff coming at you this week as the lockout unfortunately rolls on. Different set here. We're down in South Florida for a few, so taping and doing the show from here. We're going to continue our look today at the Cubs' top 10 prospects in the organization. Really robust list. Good names on this list. A lot of them pilfered from around the league last year at the deadline. We'll delve into that a little bit more. I'm going to share some must-hit restaurants in Wrigleyville. We're all dreaming of summer. Pre-game at your favorite establishment. We'll hit some more of those area restaurants coming up in a little bit. But first, it's update time, and I guess there's really not much to talk about, but I do feel obligated considering we're in the middle of this Major League Baseball lockout. This is something we would have already enjoyed: winter meetings, hot stove season, free agent signing season, which we got just a smidget of, just a little taste, but not a ton before the league locked things out. We would be really pushing towards spring training, pitchers and catchers, Valentine's Day report day, month-ish or so away. Well, that's been stripped from us now. Month into the lockout, and I'll be honest with you guys, as a baseball fan like you are, my opinions are now changing. And is this warranted? Should they be changing? I had said all along that proactivity was best. So come early December, you've got the players, you got the owners. They need to hash out their differences because things weren't jiving in their world from the business side. Okay, great. Do this in December, get it over with so we can carry on with spring training and pitchers and catchers reporting in February. Well, guess what? Here we are now 6 weeks later almost with nothing. And the proactivity spiel that I was given, I think I might backtrack on it. I think it might be fluey. I'm a little ticked off. And I don't think that's unwarranted. It was good, right? This is good. Proactive, hash it out. December, then nothing materialized. Quiet, crickets. Sides didn't even meet until last Thursday, just a few days ago. But things weren't necessarily pretty. Let's dive into what went down in the proposal, in the talks on Thursday, the first that we have had for about 5 or 6 weeks. So is it a step? Yes. Was it a productive step? Not so much. Here's what we do know. The universal designated hitter, meaning introducing the DH into the National League and keeping it in the AL as well, seems to be agreed upon by both parties, players and owners. Okay, so we know that. Sorry, traditionalists, it's coming to a ballpark near you in a National League town, whether you like it or not. The owners' offer to the players included 14 teams in the playoffs. 14 teams in the playoffs. Expanded to a fault, maybe? Yes, in my opinion, but that seems to be a big crutch there. They want the 14 teams in the postseason. That seems excessive, as you know what, to me, but it is what it is. So that's part of the deal. The MLB and the owners especially are dead set against lowering the free agency from 6 to 5 years, a la the Kris Bryant service time issue. They do not want to lose that year of control on the back end of a rookie deal for a player who is going to be a superstar. In addition to all of this, so those are the main points from what was presented Thursday. And again, nothing got done. We have not advanced. In addition to that, there were several topics that came up in Major League Baseball's proposal to the players, in addition to the DH, the expanded playoffs, and lowering the free agency, as we discussed a moment ago. MLB owners want a draft lottery consisting of 3 teams with the worst records in the game. The players also want a draft lottery, but with 8 teams instead of 3. So this would change the draft structure and format of Major League Baseball. The amount of teams in that lottery, in other words, a la the NBA structure with the lottery, is what is up for grabs here between the owners and players, 3 or 8. Another piece of this proposal is tied into the prospects and the service times, which we touched on this a little bit. If a team, this gets a little confusing, so stick with me. If a team has a top 100 ranked prospect who finishes in the top 5 in voting for the game's major awards, such as MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, during one of his arbitration years, so those team-controlled years, his team would receive an extra draft pick. So incentive for the team as well as the player for winning the award. So knowing that an additional draft pick may result, teams may be more likely to promote their top prospects sooner rather than hold them back due to service time reasons. Meaning, you've got a Kris Bryant type player, right? A caliber player. You don't want to hold him back until week 2 or 3 in April of year 1 because you want him up, a chance to finish in the top MVP or Rookie of the Year voting, and as a club, you get an extra pick back to bolster your farm system. Good logic? Yes. Is that really incentive enough to lose a whole year of control from a player on the back end? I doubt it. But again, negotiations and bargaining have just restarted after 6 weeks. So let's give it time to heat up. Here's the outlook, in my opinion. In a normal year, like I touched on, pitchers and catchers would start to report and return to spring training in about a month or so from now, right? Middle of February, Valentine's Day, you take care of your sweetie. You got baseball coming to Florida and Arizona. It's that time of year. We're getting there. No dice this year. Spring training tickets are on sale. If you're a Cubs fan, you saw the emails. They went on sale over the weekend. Saturday spring training tickets went on sale. The Cardinals' first exhibition game, talking NL Central ball, is scheduled for February 26th. Opening day of the Major League Baseball season scheduled for March 31st. Okay, why am I outlining all these dates? Well, now it's time to start sweating a little bit. We're getting down to crunch time here where we've had only one discussion and one proposal in the last 6 weeks regarding getting these two sides together, and the clock keeps ticking. 11 weeks separated from a meeting between the owners and players that seemingly accomplished very little. So here we stand. That's the update. Not much to report. Unfortunately, is talk better than no talk? Yes, but they were stagnant and quiet for so long that now we're behind the 8 ball as fans of this game. And yes, feel bad. You can change your tune from what you felt in the beginning of December. Let's continue our look at the Cubs' highest ranked prospects heading into 2022 in a moment. This is a great list, a list that you might not realize how strong it really is. Before we do, I want to remind you, it's the new year. Means resolutions. If you're about getting fit, eating better, eating healthier, you have to include Built Bar into your fitness plan. Built Bar makes it easier to stick with your resolutions because it tastes so good, you're actually going to want to eat it. Most Built Bars have only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein, which is a ton. If you don't know macronutrient type things, that's a ton of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, normally has 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, which is a load of sugar, and dozens of carbs. Even if you're not a huge fan of working out, which I know a lot of people aren't, because sometimes you just don't feel like it, you can at least eat something that tastes good and is good for you. That way, when you enjoy a delicious Built Bar, you can almost count it as a workout. Go to Built.com. Use our special offer. It's LOCKED15. LOCKED15 and get 15 for 15% off your order. Locked On Cubs continues shortly. We welcome you back into Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I am Andrew Bellison. Thank you so much, really, for taking the time each and every morning to make us your first listen. It does not go unnoticed. I appreciate every download, every listen. I just love being with you in the mornings. It makes my week. Interact with us on Twitter at Chicago Cubs PA, at Locked On Cubs for the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are free and available wherever you download your favorite podcast. Please check us out on the way to work, in the car, on the train. Are you traveling? Maybe you're off at home, getting breakfast ready. Flip us on each and every morning, Locked On Cubs. Thank you for being with us. We've been taking a look at the Cubs' top 10 prospects heading into the 2022 season. This is a really, really intriguing conversation for me because I've been and Carter Hawkins do post-lockout in the market. You know, this major league roster, this 25-man roster is a lot closer to being respectable and a contendable team than you and I might realize, and I stand by that. We talked also at length, too, how the farm system was depleted for a few years there at the end of the Theo era because of the moves that the Cubs made at the major league level to bring in ready talent for their playoff pushes. Well, guess what? We now have this group of guys in the Cubs farm system, especially their top 10, that has a boatload of talent. And last summer, you know, again, this is a team that was 10, 12 games over 500 in June. Last summer, when we had the fire sale, adios KB, adios Anthony Rizzo, see ya Javi Baez. You know, that's frustrating as a fan to see your core get dealt away, especially when you're emotionally connected with them like we were from the World Series year. What we might not have realized at the time is the talent that came with the New York Mets, from the Yankees. A big handful of these guys that came back in those deals are now comprising the top 10 prospects in the whole Cubs organization. So while it hurt at the time, now it's time to start looking at these guys and reaping the benefits because we're going to see them up in the bigs here at some point in the near future. First guy that I want to talk about this morning, is the fifth-ranked prospect in the entire Cubs organization. His name is Kevin Alcantara, came over from the Yankees in the Rizzo deal last summer. Again, another example of a top 10 prospect that was pilfered from another team by trading away some of the core. Stung at the time, now you reap the benefits. The highest upside bat entire system, in a system that is now suddenly flush with big bats. A lean 6'6" player, long swing, length leads to loud contact when he does square it up, but he doesn't consistently lift the ball yet. He's a plus runner. He's got an above average arm, more likely to end up in right field than center as he physically matures. Alcantara has consistently been one of the youngest players on his teams since he came into pro ball with the Yankees a few years ago. Yankees brought him here to the States as soon as he turned 17 back in 2019. And even back in the complex last season, he had only 16 plate appearances against a pitcher younger than him. Let me say that again. 16 plate appearances the entire year against a pitcher that was younger than him. That's incredible. So between consistently facing older pitching and more experienced competition, mind you, and the long levers in his stroke, he's at times struggled with the swing and miss. This, we've talked about, can be corrected. Look at Javi Baez, the maturation from 2014-13 up until now. If Alcantara can refine that a bit as he gets more game reps, he's potential plus regular in the outfield. He's got an extreme amount of variance here. Again, he's young and still very raw. This cuts in both directions. Alcantara's a physical outlier, given the frame and present athletic tools. That puts true superstar outcomes on the table if he sticks up the middle. It also might eventually leave him a corner outfielder with strikeout issues. ETA in the major leagues, 2025, 2026. Still a long way away, but a great player to keep your eye on. Kevin Alcantara came over from the Yankees in the Rizzo deal. How about the fourth-ranked prospect in all of the Cubs organization is James Triantos, who was drafted 56th overall in the 2021 draft by the Cubs. Cubs grabbed him in the second round. And literally went almost $1 million over slot to keep him from matriculating at North Carolina. Not the most physical or most projectable high school bat, although Baseball Prospectus, who's ranking these top 10, said they wouldn't be shocked if the listed height weight on him are a bit generous. He wrings everything out of his swing without sacrificing contact at all, which is a huge plus. He split time up the middle as a pro, but his long-term home, according to Prospectus, is probably going to be third base. Bit of a rough defender at the current state, but the arm should play really well at the hot corner while the rest of the defensive profiles catch up as he progresses through the minor leagues. Definitely an above-average infielder, very high variance. Bat looks legit, as they say, but legit in the complex is a different thing than legit further up the line, double, AAA, etc. Unlikely to add a ton of value through infield defense overall, so the bat's going to have to do the talking. Major League ETA for him, 2025. Hot corner prospect. Keep an eye on him. Going to be fun to watch him, hopefully in Mesa here in a few weeks, fingers crossed, pending lockout, and then see how he matures beyond that as well. Let me ask you this. Can you feel a summer afternoon in Wrigleyville, sun baking down, the ballpark organ playing across the street? Where are you headed before a 1:20 afternoon contest? We've got some suggestions for you. I'd like to share some of my favorite Wrigleyville spots for pre and post game around the ballpark. Want to remind you quickly, BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action in 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and mobile site to sign up and take advantage of the 50% welcome bonus. That's right, 50%. 50%. Use the promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, from football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. Bet online. It's the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. Bet online, where the game starts. Locked On Cubs rolling on right after this. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm Andrew Bellison. This is Locked On Cubs. Thank you for spending 20 minutes with us here on your Tuesday morning. Download us wherever you find your favorite cast, free and available on all platforms. So good to be talking with you again. Missed you over the weekend. This is good stuff. We recapped our MLB lockout situation, which is quiet. Continued our list of the Cubs' top 10 prospects, taking a look at number 4 and number 5 ranked in the Cubs farm system heading into 2022. And now we continue our food tour of Wrigleyville. I've told you, I'm a foodie at heart, man. I watch what I eat. We work out. We don't eat meat. I intermittently fast, yada, yada, yada. But the heart here is still the 10-year-old Husky Gene Warren kid that I was back in the mid-90s. And there are so many great spots around Wrigleyville. You've probably got your favorites. And if you do, I'd love to hear them. Please share them with me at Locked On Cubs, at Chicago Cubs PA on Twitter. Want to hear where you check out before and after a ball game. I've got some of my favorites too, and this list is going to roll on the next couple days, but we'll pick up today with Smoke Daddy. This is right across the street from the ballpark. Are you a fan of barbecue? If you are, Smoke Daddy is a must check out. The Airy Smoke Shack, it's inside the Hotel Zachary. It kind of presents itself as bright and modern, but the grub is anything but stuffy. Ribs 2 ways, Kansas City-style burn ends, juicy pulled pork, tender brisket, Cajun spiced tilapia for those of us not into the meat scene as much, meaty smoked wings, hearty pit beans, mac and cheese that's homemade and super gooey, savory stewed collards, and really, that's just part of the list. I mean, if you're a barbecue person, and again, I don't eat meat, but the smell and the process of doing barbecue is just so fun to me. Smoke Daddy is a must-see. If you pair that with the nightly live music that they have in the summer times, featuring local blues acts, they got a great cocktail list. They've got a habanero cider. You give yourself a great party. Good food, good drinks, great location. You walk right across the street to Wrigley Field. Here's my guilty pleasure, and this is a must-have if you go. Have it as a meal if you want. Get it as an appetizer to share around the table. You have to have the toasted soft pretzel and chips with their homemade jalapeno beer cheese to dip. I'm telling you, you'll love it. Get it. How about going down the street a little bit to a favorite of a lot of yours, I'm sure, post-game especially? What about Sluggers, world-class sports bar and grill? Dueling piano bar, bargain price beers, game day drink specials every day, crowd of diehard Cubs fans. There's competitive skee ball, no prisoners, Pop-A-Shot basketball, real batting cages upstairs, which I'm sure you may have checked out before. What could go wrong? Really only one way to find out. Let me say this. Start out slow in the cage if you hit the bar before heading upstairs. Just saying, trying to help you out. Sluggers, great casual spot, pre or post Cubs game. How about one more? You want to up it a little bit? This is my language. This is Seafood City. Swift & Sons Tavern and Oyster Bar has opened in Wrigleyville, where Madden's old place used to be. Dress up your game a little bit. Dress up your game day routine. Stop into the Polished Steakhouse and Raw Bar from the famed Boca Restaurant Group, now in Wrigleyville, stocked with East and West Coast oysters. You can get them on the half shell or char grilled. I prefer them raw, but man, the flavor when they char grill them is so good. You can get a great plump shrimp po' boy, which is a phenomenal sandwich. Classic Chop House salads, 6 different tavern cuts of steaks ranging from an 8-ounce steak frites to a hulking 22-ounce prime ribeye. Might not want to have that pregame. You might not make it through all 9 innings. But also ample wines by the glass. Great kids menu for the kids if you want to let them crush some buttered noodles before the ball game. Let me say this. The oysters are a must. This location, again, it's literally attached to Wrigley Field. So doesn't get any more convenient than that. They have a side dish, and steakhouse side dishes are the best, in my opinion. They have a sriracha roasted cauliflower as a side dish. Great veg, great kick, great heat. Come on, you have to try that. It will blow your mind. Great spots, Wrigleyville. So many of them to choose from. We'll continue our list because it's such a long list. There's just so many good places to go. I want to thank you again for taking the time out today to make us your first listen. We ask that you make Locked On Bets your second listen of the day. It's your daily one-stop shop for all of your gambling needs. Hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. We have a wonderful show tomorrow. We kick it off with a tribute to John Lester. John, thank you for your service and for what you did for the Cubs. We'll dive into John Lester more tomorrow and talk about his wonderful career, as well as, is he a Hall of Famer? This has been Locked On Cubs. I'm Andrew Bellison. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday.